1-800-409-5633.
Nearly 4 decades after abortion became legal, a woman's right to choose continues to anger millions of Americans. Pro-life advocates regard abortion as the killing of an unborn human. But according to Pastor Clenard Childress, Roe v. Wade doesn't just target babies. The New Jersey Reverend says the Supreme Court ruling is being used to wipe out an entire race of people. Pastor Clenard Howard Childress, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I understand that you are the founder of a pro-life website called blackgenocide.org.
Yes.
Why did you start this website?
Well, when I heard the disproportionate amount of African-American women that were falling prey to the abortion industry, and knowing indeed that abortion had become very much a part of the decision-making African-American women were making or doing, the numbers staggered me. And so African-American women make up 12% of the population, but 36% of the abortions. And at this present time, for every 2 African-American women that get pregnant, 1 will choose to abort. 52% of all African-American pregnancies end in abortion, and that's from Alan Guttmacher, who sat on the board of Planned Parenthood. So these are statistics that should cause anyone concern, and thus blackgenocide.org.
Why is it that you believe these women are victims of a system rather than making decisions on what they want to do?
No doubt the abortion industry targets African Americans, minorities. 78% of all Planned Parenthoods, abortuaries I call them, but clinics are located in minority neighborhoods. The targeting of African Americans has now been documented. So we have to look at the abortion industry and look at the philosophic views. And minorities is something that they want less of. Ruth Bader Ginsburg made the comment, at the time Roe versus Wade was decided, we believe they were trying to get rid of populations that we don't want too many of. She made that comment July 11th, 2009, and today, of last year. Today, we're seeing that Roe versus Wade was not decided based on law, but based on ideology.
Just to clarify, you're saying that abortion providers such as Planned Parenthood are purposefully trying to unleash genocide on the African American female community. That is their intent.
Well, yes. If abortion was not lucrative, it would not be legal. There's no question that Planned Parenthood, the leader of the abortion industry in this country, they account for 18% of all abortions. And when you look at the abortion leader and you look at their ideology and their philosophy and their roots and see where all their abortion clinics are located, in Houston, right now they're building a mega, it's an enormous building in the African American neighborhood and Hispanic, designed for completely abortion. They're marketing abortion, not women's health care. They're marketing abortion, and many people need to know in that building, there's a floor dedicated to late-term abortions. And I want America to know late-term abortions are still going on in this country. And so we have to understand that the ideology, the philosophic views of the eugenics movement was to target African Americans, and they're still being targeted today.
Planned Parenthood provides other services other than abortions for the patients that go there to the clinics. And all their patients are not black women. They have women that are of all race, all religions, all ethnicities. What do you say about all the white women that get abortions?
Well, I'm looking at the locations. locations, you go to the market that you're trying to reach, and that's African Americans. Anyone who studies marketing would know, indeed, that's what you do. If you want to reach the Hispanic community, you don't set up in the Italian community, you set up in the Hispanic community. Now, as far as these other services, Planned Parenthood well knows that if they can engage our youth at a young age and be their health provider when it comes to the mindset of what they're going to do and how they're going to engage in their sexuality. We will sell you the condoms. We'll give you the test. We become your guru, your teacher, your mentor. If Planned Parenthood was really interested in the health of these women, they would tell them about the obvious links between abortion and breast cancer.
And we're going to talk about those documented, scientific, hundreds of major studies that every abortion you have massively increases your chance of getting different types of cancer. If your body is meant to abort a baby, 99% of the time it will. It's very unnatural. Making the film Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement, I didn't just believe the quotes by Margaret Sanger and Planned Parenthood and others even in modern times. I went to the universities. I sent off for copies of the actual letters where they call black people weeds that must be exterminated. And you see Bill Gates and his vaccine program clearly tied to reduced fertility, sterilization, Nobel laureates on record. Even BBC reporting that women are getting HIV who've never had sex in Africa, but they've had vaccinations. They were caught in Libya doing this. We have the UN and their internal documents that I covered in Endgame saying they want to force inoculate, to introduce cancer viruses, autoimmune viruses. This is going on against everyone. But going back over 100 years ago, when eugenics was like a rock and roll craze, up until the 40s when Hitler embarrassed them, they then changed the name of it. Blacks were the #1 target because they could sell more people in the community on going along with it. On that Russia Today video piece that we played half of, we'll put it back on screen. It's Abortion Inc. Is it carrying out black genocide? Abortion Inc. promoting black genocide inside the United States. In the comments, I see people in there, the minority, but still they're there, saying, you black people complain about everything. You black people always say you're the victim. You black people always say people are out to get you. And, yeah, well, there are too many black people. There are too many black thugs out there, on and on and on and on. And then, see, once that idea has been accepted, then it can be done to everybody. I remember debating Planned Parenthood people and debating CPS when they were seizing people's kids for no reason. They would email me, write me, call me, or in person say, who's going to adopt all these black babies? Are you going to do it? Yeah, we're getting rid of them. And it's come out in the news that you can call up Planned Parenthood and say, I want to give money specifically to get rid of black babies. Absolutely, we agree, we'll help you. This is a eugenics organization. And Bill Gates' father, of course, formerly headed it. And they're all pushing this agenda right now. The carbon taxes are about cutting off everybody's resources where you can't even afford to have children now. And so I wanted to have Pastor on our show today from blackgenocide.org because he's been fighting this for more than a decade, and he's been standing up against this corrupt system and fighting for more than a decade. And so we're going to get him to break down basically what we face as a society. But the fact is there's more people wanting to adopt every year in the U.S. That's why people import folks from South Korea and Europe and other places and Haiti. And the truth is people do want to adopt black babies, brown babies, white babies. But the system knows this, and they don't tell you when you're at Planned Parenthood that there are Christian groups who will 100% of the time pay you, take care of you, and help adopt the baby. No, they just say kill the baby. And so this is a window into a much bigger situation. So I've prefaced that now, but I want to go to Pastor Clenard Howard Childress Jr. from blackgenocide.org. Pastor, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
Break down your awakening, who you are, what you've done, your research, what we're facing here, and obviously the larger eugenics operation.
Well, sometimes the longer I stay in it, the more I find that it's a humongous machine. That I feel the only way it could be uprooted at this point is for the church. That God has always used the church to deal with all social injustices. But how I began was just defending the unborn here locally in my normal teaching. Did not even know such thing as the pro-life movement or pro-choice and all the terminology. And a young lady who's more involved than I was regionally asked me, did I want to get more involved in the movement?